This week on Inside Boulder News, Governor Jared Polis has extended the state's stay-at-home order until April 26th, while the city's buildings and facilities will remain closed until April 30th. And the city of Boulder joins forces with local community partners to aid the city's local small businesses. Find out how you can help. Welcome to Inside Boulder News, your source for all things Boulder. I'm Jocelyn Avendaño. We begin this week with an update on the COVID-19 pandemic. It's been 1 month since the state of Colorado had its first case of coronavirus. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the state are now over 5,600, while Boulder County has surpassed 200 confirmed cases. On April 2nd, the city of Boulder announced that all city buildings and facilities would remain closed until April 30th, extending the original April 19th closure dates. This means that all recreational courts, golf courses, playgrounds, dog parks, and picnic areas are closed. Parks, hiking trails, trailheads, and multi-use paths remain open for walking, hiking, biking, and running, provided that all users always remain at least 6 feet from any other user. Governor Jared Polis announced earlier this week the extension of the current stay-at-home order that will now remain in effect until April 26th. Colorado is beginning to see the impacts of the social distancing measures that have been implemented in recent weeks. When the virus first began in the state, the number of cases doubled every 1.5 days. Now, it's doubling every 6 days, meaning the spread of the virus is beginning to slow and the importance of continuing to stay at home and practice social distancing. The City of Boulder would like to remind its community members to continue to practice physical distancing. If you must go out, please limit your exposure to others. Limit trips to necessities such as groceries and practice good hygiene by washing your hands often. The CDC recently came out with a new guideline that recommends the use of cloth face coverings in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. Cloth face coverings can be made from household items at low cost and can be used as an additional voluntary public health measure. The recommended face coverings are not surgical masks or N95 respirators. These should continue to be reserved for healthcare workers and other first responders. More information on the CDC's recommendations can be found on the website seen on your screen. It is important to wear a mask every time you leave your house, including on open space trails and city parks. The City of Boulder recognizes that getting outdoors, which is allowed under the current stay-at-home order, is important for helping community members to get through these trying times. The city recommends getting outside near your home, and if you're going to use public trails, please follow the following rules. City and Boulder County open space trails are seeing increased usage and significant number of people who are not following public health orders to practice physical distancing or to wear a face mask when leaving home. If this continues, additional park areas and open space trails may need to be closed to ensure that our shared public lands remain safe for everyone. The city would like to share important responsible recreation guidelines that will help protect community members, first responders, and parks and open space maintenance staff. Please maintain more than 6 feet of physical distancing. Follow face covering guidelines even when you visit parks and open space. Avoid unnecessary travel to limit the spread of COVID-19 and to flatten the curve. The more we all follow the rules, the faster we can safely get back to socializing and back to work. According to Forbes, about 30 million small businesses across the United States are struggling to find relief during COVID-19. Half of those businesses are blaming the current pandemic for the decline in revenue. Small businesses in the city of Boulder have found themselves in the same situation. The city of Boulder announced earlier this week that it has joined forces with local philanthropists to establish a fund aimed at helping local businesses. It's called the COVID-19 Small Business Relief Fund, established by the Boulder Chamber and Community Foundation Boulder County. The city has established a $200,000 challenge grant to support qualifying Boulder small businesses in their continued safe operation during the immediate pandemic health crisis and near-term response. Donations to this fund are tax-deductible and will support distressed small businesses in covering the non-recurring necessary business expenses that afford continued and safe operation during the crisis. Qualifying businesses will receive a one-time grant of up to $2,500. The application window is expected to open next week. To learn more about how you can donate or are a small business owner interested in applying for the grant, please visit the Community Foundation website. Each year, the city gives rebates to residents with lower incomes to help with the sales tax on purchased food. If you think you can qualify for help, there is an application you can fill out and turn in. Jason Allen, the City of Boulder's Human Services Program Coordinator, tells us more.
Each year, the City of Boulder provides rebates to help compensate residents with lower incomes for the city's sales tax they pay on food. Applications are open for those seeking rebates.
So every year, we process about 1,000 applications for folks, and we refund a fair amount of money, about $100,000, back to families through this program that we collected from taxes on groceries.
To get a refund, you must meet the financial guidelines. Be a Boulder resident for all of 2019, be age 62 or over during 2019, a person with a disability, or a family with children under 18 years old.
We think we might be getting out and reaching about 10% of the families who we'd like to be able to reach, so we'd really like a lot more people to apply.
These forms must be postmarked by September 30th, 2020. If you applied last year, you will automatically receive your application in the mail. City residents who do not have permanent shelter are eligible for the refund and can meet the residency requirement by providing documentation that they are receiving services from a city-recognized homelessness services agency.
It's important because it makes it easier for people to live in the city of Boulder, and it creates less of a tax burden for families who live here and shop here, and makes this tax base a little less biased towards people with lower incomes.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, city offices are closed and are not able to accommodate in-person drop-off and assistance. For more information, visit the city's food tax rebate page at bouldercolorado.gov/human-services or call the program administrator at the number seen on your screen.
Colorado's stay-at-home order has had police impersonators in at least 2 cities stop and question drivers about why they are out during a statewide stay-at-home order. While the Boulder Police Department has not received any reports of police imposters in our community, we have the following tips for you to take into account when pulled over by a vehicle you believe may be a police impersonator. Did you do something that warranted being pulled over? If something doesn't feel right, call 911 as soon as it is safe to do so. Lock your vehicle and leave the window rolled up. Tell the person approaching you have called 911 to verify the officer's agency. The dispatcher can verify that you are with a real police officer and let the officer know they are on the phone with you. If you can pick a well-lit public area to pull over, you should do so. If you are in a remote area, slow down and call 911. The 911 center will be aware an officer is trying to stop you. Keep moving until you can confirm the agency and the officer is identified. Turn on your emergency flashers and be clear you are not trying to flee the area. Know your location. When you call 911, provide dispatchers with a description of your location to include city, street name, and a landmark or store nearby. This will allow dispatchers to locate you quickly. The Boulder Police Department utilizes marked and unmarked patrol vehicles. Most traffic stops are conducted by a police officer in uniform, but in some cases, the officer is in regular clothing. All police officers in Colorado are required to carry an agency-issued ID card and business card with their name and agency. Ask to see the officer's ID card and business card if you're concerned they are not a real police officer. Boulder police officers are not conducting traffic stops solely to ascertain while people are traveling. Officers are operating under the assumption that most violations will be unintentional, providing education rather than enforcement. The hope is that criminal enforcement of the public health order will not become necessary. Please check out the city's newsroom for more information. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Boulder News. Stay tuned to Boulder Channel 8 for up-to-date information on coronavirus. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe. And be sure to check out the city's online newsroom for the latest city news. We'll see you next time.